Hey guys, I have been spending a lot of time in Dollar Tree lately, but I am super intent on making this a holly jolly handmade Christmas this year, and I am just loving the Dollar Tree Christmas DIYs. So I have a whole roundup of new DIYs to share with you in today's video, and I think you're going to love these even more than the last one. So let's jump right into today's projects because we got a lot to get through, but please do hit that subscribe button and the little bell if you like what you see here and you want to be notified every time I post a video. Let's jump into today's projects. For my first DIY, I headed to the ornament aisle and I picked up these little boot ornaments. I picked up 2 of these for a total of 4. And then I also grabbed a Christmas plate. I really like this just plain simple red and white one. I thought it matched the boots very nicely. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my boots and I'm going to remove all the little tags that are used to hang them as ornaments. Since I'm not going to be using these as ornaments, I'm just going to remove those so they're not in the way. Then I'm going to place them in a pattern here just like this and put my plate on top. Now when I put the plate on top, I noticed the more spaced out they were, the less stable the plate was. So I moved them closer together for a more stable pedestal. Then I used some alcohol to remove the sticker on the back of the plate, and then I just used this little craft razor just to get the sticky residue off. These craft razors are really great for removing stickers. And then I just cleaned it as well with some more alcohol just to make sure I had a nice clean surface before I put my glue down. I'm going to be using this rapid grip glue. I got this at Dollar Tree as well, and I'm going to place it all over the top edge of the boot, making sure to put a good healthy amount. And then I'm going to place the boot face down back into position, and I'm going to hold it for a few seconds while the glue just has time to grab hold. Repeat the process with all the remaining boots until you have them all in place. I put something heavy on top of the boots just while the glue was setting, just to make sure that they had that nice good hold and the pressure kept them pushed down. I actually let this sit overnight just to make sure the glue was really set, and then this is my finished cookie platter. It turned out so cute, and this DIY is super easy. For this next DIY, I headed to the party aisle and I grabbed this 2-piece fluted bowl set, and as well I also picked up one of their fancy plastic crystal looking bowls. And then I headed to the candle decor aisle and I grabbed 3 of their fluted glass candle holders. For this project, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the stickers on the bottom of the bowls, and then I'm going to just place the bowls with the bottom sides together. It's super easy to find the middle because they have these little plastic dots in the center, so all you have to do is just line those up. Super easy. Then I'm going to take some Gorilla Glue super glue and I'm going to put some on the bottom of each of the bowls, lining them back up again and then holding the bowls together, making sure to apply a little bit of pressure just while the glue has time to grab and hold. Then I'm going to take my bowls outside and I'm going to give them a good coat of spray paint with this gold spray paint, making sure to do nice light strokes of paint. You don't want to do any drippy coat, so you just do little blasts of spray paint, and you want to make sure that you spray the inside of the bowl as well. I gave it sufficient time to dry, and then I came in with this European gold rub and buff just to tone down the brassiness of this gold spray paint just a little bit. It was kind of giving that fake gold vibe that I didn't like, so I put this rub and buff on just to tone it down, and I think it did a really good job of doing that. Rub and buff is super easy to use. You just rub it in, let it sit for a minute, and then buff it in some more. So super easy to do. Then I took some of these sprigs of greenery that I had these, I actually got at Canadian Tire, but I took them apart, and I know it's very tempting when you have these big long sprigs not to want to rip them apart, but honestly rip them apart because it looks so much better when you place the sprigs in individually and actually place them around the dish, making sure to take great care in their placement so you get that high-end decor look. Then I put some candles into my glass votives, and this is the finished project. This one is so chic and no one would know this is from Dollar Tree. It looks so high-end and I'm super impressed with this one. In the picture aisle at Dollar Tree, I came across this little cute home shelf sitter that also holds pictures, and I knew it could be something super cute for Christmas. So I brought it home and I gave it a nice good coat of gold spray paint. I'm using the same spray paint we used in the last DIY, and actually you're going to see a lot of gold in this roundup. I was just really feeling the gold for these ones. And then I have this 2-pack of tree ornaments that I also got at Dollar Tree in the ornament aisle. Now these have a glitter coating to them, so I did have to do quite a bit of spray paint because the glitter was soaking in a lot of the paint. So I did about 2 coats on these, and then once they were dry, I used some hot glue to fixate them to the base of this pitcher holder. I did cut off one of the trunks of the trees down a bit so that they were varying heights. Things always look better in varying heights rather than just straight across. And then I held them in place while the glue set. Then I came in with these fun gold star stickers that I got at Dollar Tree as well. You can find these in the sticker aisle. And I wrapped that around the base of the bottom of the pitcher holder. And then I came in with this thicker gold ribbon for the middle, and I hot glued this one in place just on the back. I made sure not to put any hot glue at the front because it's a lace ribbon. I didn't want any hot glue showing through, so I just pulled it nice and tight and then used the hot glue on the back. And then for the top, I added just a thinner ribbon as well, just to give it just that nice little finishing touch. And then same thing, I just put the glue on the back. I do not like when you see hot glue at the front. And then this is my finished little pitcher holder. You can use this for Christmas cards or Christmas pictures. You can actually put whatever you want in here. This is just a super cute, easy DIY. Alright guys, so I'm back in the candle aisle at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to pick up one of these candle plates and I'm going to remove the sticker, and then we're going to give it a nice good coat of spray paint with the same gold spray paint we just used. I warned you there's going to be a lot of this gold. I'm just really loving it right now. So I gave it 2 nice good coats of spray paint, making sure that I allowed for sufficient drying time in between each coat. Then I'm going to come in again with the Rub and Buff and the European Gold just to tone down the gold just a little bit, just to make it a little more chic. Once I put the Rub and Buff on, I'm going to come in with these little wooden snowmen that I got at Dollar Tree as well, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to give these a coat of Rub and Buff as well. Now these are wood, unfinished wood, so I didn't bother spray painting them first. The Rub and Buff went on perfectly fine without having to spray paint them first. So I'm going to use a paintbrush just to make sure I get into all the little divots around the hat and everything like that. Then once I let that dry, I'm going to come in with these gold bottle brush trees that I got at Dollar Tree as well, and I love these gold bottle brush trees from Dollar Tree. They're so chic and high-end looking. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to put them around the candle plate and then hot glue them into place, making sure that we do different varying heights. I used 2.5 packages of these trees. And then I'm going to come in with some super glue from Gorilla Glue, and we're going to put our little snowman upside down on the bottom of the candle plate. Now I'm attaching them to the little divots. Their divots are already there, so it works perfectly, but you do want to make sure that you do not put any pressure on this candle plate until the super glue has sufficiently dried. So I left it overnight just to make sure. And then once it's finished, you can go ahead and put your candle in the middle. You can use an already set candle, or you can also use a nice votive jar candle from Dollar Tree as well and put a candle in the middle. I think either or looks perfect for this DIY. I've had this little shelf sitter from Dollar Tree in my craft stash for quite some time, and today we're going to give it a Christmas makeover. So I used a heat gun to remove the paper that was on the MDF. I just always remove the paper rather than glue over top of it because I don't want it peeling in any way, shape, or form. Then I'm going to give the wood part a little sand. There was a little tin piece word that was on here before. It said life is good or something, and I removed that a long time ago. We're going to go ahead and we're going to give it a coat of gel stain with this no pain gel stain from Dixie Belle. And then I have this Christmas bag that I bought last year, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut it up, and then I'm going to put it onto this little shelf sitter on the half circle part, and I'm going to put it on and then trace around with a pencil, and then I'm going to use some scissors to cut it out. I'm going to, after I cut it out, I'm going to go ahead and just do a wider cut because I want to actually fix it up with a knife afterwards and get a nice smooth look to the edge. So I'm going to put some spray adhesive onto the MDF, and then I'm going to smooth the little paper on there. So you'll notice it's a little bit bigger right now, but like I said, I'm going to cut it around here with my X-Acto knife just to make sure it's nice and cut around this edge. Then once I've done that, I'm going to come in with a little gold star. Now I actually cut these out with my laser, but if you don't have a laser, honestly, you can find little craft letters and all kinds of different things at Dollar Tree that you could use to put on this. Stickers, anything you want really. You can get creative with this step and see what you can come up with for this DIY. But I decided to go ahead and cut something with my laser, and this is the cute little finished shelf sitter. For this next project, I'm going to take some self-adhesive wall tile from Dollar Tree and as well this hanging ornament decor, and I'm going to remove the little decor piece at the top, the tin part. We're going to put that aside for later. Then I'm going to come in with this Americana decor paint in the shade New Life, and I'm just going to go around the edge of the ornament. Then I'm going to take my wall tile and I'm going to place it down on my ornament. Now the thing about these wall tiles is the sticky backing actually isn't stuck to the whole part of the wall tile. So if you cut it, it's going to come off of the adhesive backing. So what I do is I just keep one edge uncut at the top of the ornament, and you're going to see here in a minute when I open it up, you can see that there's still one piece attached at the top. So then what I can do is I can come in with some hot glue and then just glue that to the adhesive backing. I think I just get a better stick this way rather than peeling the whole ornament or wall tile off of the adhesive backing. Then I'm going to come in with the same paint that I used to go around the edge and give it 2 good solid coats of paint. Then I'm going to use this antiquing wax from Country Chic Paint, and I'm going to go over the embossed edges of the wall tile, just making them pop a little bit and making them a little more rustic. Then I'm going to take the tin part and I'm going to use some brown acrylic paint and I'm going to do 2 coats on that. Once that is dried, I take some Rub and Buff in the shade European Gold and I just pounce that on in areas just to give this a rustic, distressed look. I'm going to follow that up with some antiquing wax using a makeup sponge just to pounce it on into intermittent places. I'm also going to go ahead and just use my gloves as well just to have more control and just kind of pat it in so it's a little more defined in certain areas. Then to really rustic up this bell, I'm going to take some Mod Podge and I'm going to just use a Q-tip just to put it into certain areas where I want, and again I can use my gloves just to kind of spread it around. Once I have the Mod Podge on, I'm going to come in with some cinnamon and I'm going to pour that over top and then use my gloves to kind of spread it in and rub it in and follow that up with another coat of Mod Podge just to seal in the cinnamon so that it doesn't flake off. And this is how you can achieve a realistic rustic look and take this cheap little tin piece and actually make it look more high-end. I'm going to come in with the Rub and Buff again and I'm going to go over just a few slight areas of the ornament detailing just to really make those pop and give it a more chic look. I want this rustic, but I also want a chic element to it as well. I'm going to glue my little tin ornament piece back on, and then I'm going to go ahead and on the edges, I'm going to put some Rub and Buff as well, just to make sure when you see this piece from the sides that it doesn't look too unfinished. I would rather see the gold than that green color. Once that's done, I'm going to add some embellishment using a Dollar Tree pick that I've just kind of pulled apart here, and I'm going to hot glue them into place. I'm also going to add a cute little velvet bow and some rustic bells and some pine cones, and my rustic ornament is finished, and this is how it turned out. Alright guys, I had so much fun with that backsplash tile project. I wanted to make another one, but this time I came into the bath aisle and I grabbed this bath mat from Dollar Tree as well. I have this MDF stocking that I cut out with my laser, and I did want to mention to you guys, if anything I cut with my laser is something that you would like to buy or purchase for your DIY and crafting, that is something that I can totally do. Just pop in the comments below if that is something you want to buy, and if the demand is there, I can totally put it on a website for you guys to purchase yourself. But I did just also replicate exactly what I did with the ornament and cut it around the stocking, making sure to leave an edge so that I could just flip it open like this and then add the hot glue and then glue it down onto the self-adhesive sheet. And like I said in the last project, I feel like you get a much better adhesion this way when you leave the backer sheet onto the ornament, or sorry, the tile. So I put that down in place, and then for the color on this one, I'm going to come in with this Tuscan red paint. This is just an acrylic paint, and it is a little hard to get it stick to the tile because it is a shiny surface, but I just did 3 coats, making sure to let good drying time in between each coat. Once the color had dried, I decided I didn't really like the stark red, so I did come in with another color. This is Camel from Decor in this Americana Decor paint, and I just pounced that on in a few spots just to kind of dull down the red just a little bit. Once that it was dry, I came in with some antiquing wax, and same thing like I did on the last project, I just pounced it on using the makeup sponge in the embossed areas just to give it that nice little rustic pop. Once the wax had dried, I came in with the cinnamon again just to make that real rustic look. So I pounced on some Mod Podge in just a few areas, sprinkled the cinnamon over top, and then flaked off the cinnamon and then put more Mod Podge on just to seal it in and make sure that it doesn't flake off. All right, and this is where my bath mat comes in. So I thought this bath mat was perfect and so primitive looking. So I cut a rectangular piece, placed it around the top, and then I secured it from the back with a bit of hot glue, making sure I folded it over the top edge so I had that finished edge there and the MDF wasn't showing. So I just applied it on the back of the MDF and folded it over, and then once again glued on the front, placed it back down, and then folded those side pieces over. The other good part about this is I only used a tiny piece of the bath mat for this project, so now I have a whole other bath mat to put aside in my craft stash to use for future projects. I used a Dollar Tree pick that I just kind of cut up and stuck at the top of the stocking, and then I worked in a rustic star and then some of this primitive ribbon as well, and then I made a hanger for the back by just making a ribbon loop and hot gluing it in place. And then once it was done, I could hang my stocking up, and this is the finished look. This turned out so rustic and primitive, and I think it looks great. And what would a Holly Jolly Christmas be without a Holly Jolly Christmas sign? When I saw this bag at Dollar Tree, it was so cute. I knew it would make a beautiful sign. So I brought it home and I cut it open. I'm going to resave the rest of the bag. It has these beautiful sides on here, and I know I can repurpose it for another project. So I just cut off the front part, and then I'm going to go ahead and use a straight edge ruler with my X-Acto knife just to trim it down a little bit more and make sure I get that really nice straight edge and cut off the seam of the bag. Then I'm going to come in with these wooden craft sticks that I had. These I actually had in my craft stash, but if you don't have something like this, you could use like a paint stirrer or just another piece of wood. And I just used some hot glue to secure it to the top of the bag. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip it over, and I have this square wood bead garland that I got at Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut it open, and I'm going to take off some of the beads just because I don't want it to be so long. And then I'm going to place the strings down the edge. I'm going to cut off the excess now because it was in the way and inhibiting the beads. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some hot glue along, and then I'm going to place another piece of wood on the back just to secure this in place, pressing down really hard until the glue sets. I'm going to repeat this process at the bottom, except for this time I'm not going to add any beads. So I just place my wood piece down, flip it over, add some hot glue, place another wood piece on the back to secure it into place. Then I'm going to add a cute little bow at the top, and this DIY is finished. Super easy, super cute, and you know what? Gift bags make the cutest signs. I really hope that you guys enjoyed these projects as much as I did. I hope they give you inspiration for all your Christmas crafting. Again, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell if you want to be notified every time I post a video. And I have so many more great Christmas ideas to come. So stay tuned, and thanks once again for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video.